Yo, 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 what is going on, COD Familia? It is your boy BN, aka Mr. Kingdom Builder, and today we are here in SS2-2009, or SS2-9 as we call it. We have kingdoms in this group, 4, 27, 31, 37, 44, 52, 60, and 79, that are going up against one another. Now, today, we are looking at ANCS Ancients going up against FGH7. There is a big fight that is about to go down in Zone 2, which for this group opened at 6:30 UTC or 1:30 a.m. Eastern Time, which was about almost 13 hours ago. There is a massive fight, as I said, that is about to ensue right now. Just to kind of give you guys an idea on where this is occurring. Right, so we're in Zone 2, Ravona, and basically they have to walk all the way here, right? So they have to kind of come down here, all the way to the spire. So you have to do this walk like this, right? Basically to walk all the way back and forth. Look how maniac this is. Let's go ahead and get into the fight. Oh, man. I mean, bear in mind, Ancients did the walk. So they're attacking FGH7's front here. And, man, just so many artifact skills that are going down. Massive negative purple damage there being used from those. You can see just all-out fighting here on really both sides of this pillar. And the thing I like somewhat about this, look at that. I mean, geez, there's so many shadow games are going on. All that negative red AoE DPS. Well, we should say AoE and just general DPS is being put out. Look at that, what, 10,000 merit point there from Abdul. At Divine Mercy, backing up, getting some heals dropping down too as well there. I mean, Ancients splitting up, attacking here on the west side, and then on the east side of the pillar. The thing I'm somewhat iffy about here, and these are the thing we often talk about, ooh, nice shadow games there, hitting multiple enemies there for massive negative damage. This is the thing that we often talk about when we look at how teams are setting up. And the thing I'm worried about now is that, honestly, I don't know if pushing down here was the right play, because now it looks like they're going to get sandwiched. You have kind of this northeastern force here from FGH7. If they keep pushing up, they can cut off the resupply line, and then they just basically hit them from the back. And you can see this happening essentially in real time. I think I would have rather them played it straight up, because look at this, man. Now they're getting sandwiched hard. The supply line here is almost about to get cut off. They would have to re-come up and basically put themselves in a staging area to really get anything else from this. Otherwise, really what Ancients should be doing with this group is they should be backing the group up and then re-engaging around here. Right? Now, unless this group up here is going to be able to fend this group off, okay, maybe you'll still have a little bit of saving grace, but the challenge is anytime when you're fighting on your opponent's territory, you always have to think about putting yourself in good, favorable positions, which means that you are not overextending too much. You're not splitting too much unless you know you can hold ground, right? Usually you want to play a little bit more straight up, / more conservative. In the typical sense. And again, that's where, if I was Ancients, I would have fought around here. Why would I have fought around here first? Or I would have tried to bait the fight out first, right? So maybe do some poke damage. Don't overcommit. You don't have to go all in. You can start off with some appetizers, right? Start off with a little foot massage, you know what I mean? A little face massage, right? You don't have to go all in to the deep tissue on the back, right? You can let it marinate, let it simmer a bit. And I say that because you basically have kind of a soft choke point here, right? Where if you're fighting over here, and I'll give you an example, right? So, and now, again, FGH7 doing not a bad job of pushing Ancients back, where it feels like, man, they could have done a lot more damage than they did. And just to give you guys an idea here of what we're talking about, right? Ninja Nugget was there from Ancients. Who we saw, right? Where's the number 3 player right now? And then I don't know if Pit Boss was there for them or Platypus. Maybe we might have just missed it because there's so much going on. But you can see here, right? Ancients just a little bit lower, like 370 million, right? So I mean, it's pretty close. It is not really that far off. But now Ancients kind of on the heels. And now they're gonna get pushed out. And if I'm FGH7, I just keep pushing. I would keep pushing them all the way to the bridge and then reassess. Have one or two people look ahead and see how it looks. But if you keep pushing as a horde, you're going to get easy kills. You're just going to get good number favored kills. If I was at FGH7, I would keep pushing to the bank, right? At least with this force. The force that's already pushing, let them push. And then others that are replenishing, let them come in and just kind of do what they need to do. Even in this situation here with Brett, I wouldn't keep fighting this. Why? Because one, it's a 1v2. And if you do not already know that you're a strong player, or you don't already feel that your account is strong enough to keep up with other potential T5s, right? Or even, get close to near max T4s, right? Then I would be a little cautious in those situations where I'm looking for favorable trades and matchups and not necessarily going out and just kind of doing the, Han Solo style play. But FGH7, this is the right call, right? I would not want to see them just sitting here and not doing anything. So them deciding to push, again, in my opinion, is the right play. Because they're going to start picking off more of the ANCS stragglers. They're going to get some more favorable matchups and trades that are in their favor. And they're going to come out a little bit more ahead in this case, right? And part of me just feels, I don't necessarily want to say that ANCS dropped the ball, but I think there were some opportunities there with how they played that out, right? Again, the kind of curling and the splitting up of forces going in. I mean, yeah, if you're splitting your forces up in that way and you're sending the majority of your force in the direction that you're going to meet the other majority of their force, and you know that if you have a small force that's trying to flank, you can cover that, or if you just think it's less likely that will happen, then okay, that's different. But I think in that case where it's kind of twofold, not only are you splitting yourselves up, but you're allowing yourself to get flanked, and on top of that, it's also cutting off some of that resupply that's coming in from the bridge area when it was happening. So to me, I mean, it did seem pretty straight up. It seemed pretty logical, I should say, from what I was viewing on how I wouldn't have committed to that with the main force. I would have sent the side force maybe to go and flank something a little bit smaller while the main force fought up top. Because let me break something down real quick, right? Let me show you some high level stuff here, right? Let Daddy blow your mind. So this is where the fight is. Let's go like right here, right? Okay. So here's where the fight is. Let's go, and I'm going to show you what I mean, right? So, and can I full screen this? Okay, looks a little better. So here's where the fight is. Let me show you something. So let's say, it doesn't really matter what colors we use. So you have a choke here, and then you basically have your next choke, if you will, here, right? And then you kind of have like these smaller ones that are going down. When you have the main force, you have to think about and let's switch a color. So you have to think about that players are going to keep coming down here, right, from up here, and they might even come out this way, right? These are your, this is basic. You have to think of this as like your resupply line, right? And then let's say yellow is ANCS. So I would have rather had small force, right, big force, something like that. Why do I say this? Because it makes it easier for the resupply to go directly into the group versus what we ended up seeing there from ANCS, where they pushed and main force is here, tiny force was right here, right? The challenge is you've given up all of this space, right? So let's go back. What was it, pink? So you've now given up essentially all of this space to the enemy, right? You're not controlling pace and or momentum and or the zone itself, right? You are essentially giving it up. So they can fill this out however they want. That's something you have to think about. It's not just the small scale fights, it's large scale positioning and how the pressure you're applying on one side or the other can at times dictate where the momentum swings are, and then whether or not they will push you or they will play a little more defensively. So again, that's why I say I would have liked for the fight to occur a little bit more out here, like we said for them initially, because you want to basically control this, right? And then that way you dictate. You want the fight to happen here. You want the fight to potentially happen here, right? Or even if it comes up, right, here to the choke. That's okay. So again, hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. Let's go see what's happening. Are they continuously pushing and we just are really far? I can't tell here. Let's see. Oh, maybe they stopped. Oh, they did. So the main force started showing. Okay, yeah. So I mean, like I said, this is okay. If they're pushing only up until the bridge and we're not seeing anything else happening, this is all right. I am okay with this. Right? Now, could they have maybe pushed a little bit more if they just wanted to try and go out there and maybe get a few more kills, right, with the force? Like, for example, could they have maybe pushed to this bridge, right, as an idea? Sure. You could have maybe pushed to this bridge. I say that because that's kind of about the 2/3 line, right? You're not really kind of over the half line. Remember, they pushed all the way. They ran from here all the way through this, right? So they had to basically do something like this, right? They had, from here, they had to come all the way like this. Right? And then they kind of did something like that, is basically what they did. If you're pink, you could have ran this here and just went to here, right? So you're still, it's a little bit more than halfway, right? You could say 2/3, 3/5, maybe a little more accurate, right, where you would have been. And you could have pushed to there, and then you know what, okay, look, if they're not fighting, they're still pushing back, then you can retreat, right, if you want. Or you can hang out here in front of your ramp, wait to see if they go in front of their ramp, and then you guys can fight it out over here, right, if you want a few more fights. Again, I think there's a couple ways you could have done it. Now, of course, if you feel confident and you're thinking to yourself, we can still keep pushing, then why not? If you want to try and just, but the thing you have to keep in mind is you always, this is the thing, right? And again, let me share a little bit of insight here when you're doing open field PvP. You always have to look beyond. Do not get fixated or tunnel visioned on what is in front of you. You have to always look at what is coming. And what I mean by that is when we talk about the resupply, or if there's other multiple staging areas, maybe there's a flying unit that's flanking, right? Maybe a flying unit is like gathering over here on this cliff, and they're going to do something like that and try and pincer you. Maybe you have a big supply line, a resupply line that's coming all the way through these flags up here. But if you're only, for example, if pink is only, in this case, ANCS, if they're only focused on the fight that's right here, and they're not looking around anywhere else, right, which is basically all of this. If you're not looking around to see what's happening, that, again, can also be the cause of why you get pushed, right? It's you're not disengaging at an appropriate time like you should be. And that's something that we've been seeing far too often for a lot of the fights that we've been watching. But again, do I think that FGH7 did a good job of holding off ANCS? Sure, 100%. Do I also feel that ANCS kind of had a few missed opportunities with just how they played that out? I do. But I think those are small correctable things, right? It wasn't as though, they just YOLO'd and ran all the way into their tower that they were building, right? Just like as ANCS ran into the FGH7 tower, or they split their group up into 4 or 5 small groups and tried to fight that way, or they were sending units in one by one just to die to number disadvantages. It wasn't anything like that, right? We're talking about kind of large group positioning and again having good zone control. Right, something something like that can be taught. That's more of what I consider to be an easier fix, right? Than something a little bit more challenging that might take a little bit more kind of education and constant reiteration, right, throughout a period of time. So, yeah, man, totally cool with that. And you can kind of see what's happening now, right? ANCS is now kind of chilling at their bridge, and then you have FGH7 that's over here at their bridge. So. Yeah, man, not bad. Not bad. The other fight, and we can go take a look. Okay, I don't know if there is any fighting happening, but there was supposed to be some fighting in Camelid here. This one is Camelid should be between Laws, PGR, MILF, and DILF. And then the other one we were seeing, which was ANCS, NOM, FGH7, and Club, though it was really ANCS and FGH7 that we were seeing. Camelid, this is the one where, if I show you how this one works, right, so we'll do this. So this is the one where you have to kind of build the same way. The choke point goes like this. So you have to like come up and go through here, and then it comes out this way, right, to the spire. So that's and then you can branch from the spire here, or you can branch from the spire and go down, right? This is how the choke point works. So you basically have, right, these are all your chokes. Choke here, choke here. There, I guess is a thin choke here, but like really the next hard choke is here and then here. So these 4 X's are what I would consider to be more hard choke points. And there's a couple soft, wider chokes that are around. Like here is a kind of a soft white choke. A little bit here is kind of a soft white choke. But those are the only 2 I would say that are kind of throughout, right? This 4 hard point choke string or path that you're seeing right now. Okay. Let's go in and take a look at the goods here. Let's just see. I'm curious if they are doing any fighting. Because last time when I saw, they were just like setting themselves up or just, yeah. So you see you got MILF here. I think DILF is over here building. And then, right, so you can see a lot of the units that are here hanging out. And then we have, oh gosh, oh yeah, hang on. We got to go up a little bit more. And then this is where they're building, right? So this is where Laws is building right now. But I don't know if they're, yeah, see, I don't really know if they've even done any push-ups here. Yeah, and see, so you can see what I'm saying here, right? Where the rock is kind of like the next thin choke because you basically have 2 kind of soft chokes here, just because it's not a hard one where I would consider, like a hard choke to me is like if there's only 1 point to cross. These are kind of what I would consider softer chokes because you have multiple ways to get through. And then same thing here, right? So you could see that PGR is there, PGR Laws, right? They're kind of just building, and this is actually the right play. I really like what PGR is doing here, where they're saying to themselves, look, I'm going to build flags as close as I can to the river. And that actually, I would almost love to see them do a little bit more. I would love to see them doing some secondary building, where maybe they're not doing multiple, but one at a time. And they're just building as close to the river as they can so they can get more people to TP over, right? I mean, again, it is a smart play. There could have been an opportunity here, maybe. Here a little bit closer as well. Right now, yeah, it may not be the most resource beneficial or not dependent, but just yeah, I'll say that beneficial. I'm sure I could have found a better word, but you get my point. Is that again? I like what they're doing. You could argue them do more of that, right? Just to basically, while it's going to take them a while to get up here. Right, you could say they could do that for now so they can at least supplement being in the fight. And then the others who are farther out can either run Cav or Celestials, right, just to get in the fight faster outside of the ones who are TPing. So you could say, for example, the ones who are TPing here, it would make a lot more sense for them to run Infantry, Archer, Mage versus Cav or Celestial. Why? Because their refresh times are shorter, and those are arguably the more slower moving units, right? Celestial is kind of there, but the difference with Celestial is that even though Celestials at face value are not as fast as Cav, you can still maneuver them over mountains. So you have a little bit more escapability, if you will, right? You can disengage a little more efficiently. So here's a little fight right now, right? Look at this, PGR, MILF. And what's interesting is that we're not seeing... Gosh, I'm already. We're not seeing Laws send a force over here to around the Thunder Rock because they could send a force over around the Thunder Rock and basically start doing some hits with PGR. That could be a thing, right? But and maybe they already were. Maybe we just missed it. But but that is something that could happen, right? So you're seeing a little bit. So again, we'll see. I'm sure eventually we're gonna get some fights, right? They're not too far off. They're building consistently. I mean, I would give this another maybe few hours from now until they're really kind of going at each other's face. So hopefully people will let your boy know, man. Yeah, because I already messaged in here. A few people are now. And I always tell people, man, you guys can always bug me. Bug me anytime on Discord. Slide into the DMs. Let me know if there's some PvP or some fighting going on. And if I'm able to make it, I will. But it's out of sight, out of mind, right? If I don't know or, bear in mind, I try to check in on the kingdoms as much as I can. But, more often than not, being able to hear from someone that is there, that's like, yo, boss, just want to give you like a 10, 15 minute warning, right? People are getting ready. They're starting to line up. It could happen at any time. Just want to give you, a little notification. And really, that's all it is. Or even if you log in and you're like, yo, the fighting just started, feel free. You can still hit me up, right? And I always tell people, even if I may not be able to make it, not knowing means that I absolutely would never be able to make it, rather than knowing, and then it's just a matter of, okay, do I have the time? Because again, often I will have quite a few people that let me know that PvP is going on, and I know I'm never going to be able to make it to everything. But if I know that something's happening, or it's just a lot more likely that I'll have an opportunity to. So with that in mind, I think that's it for me on this one. This was awesome, man. Happy to be able to come and take a look and see how that big initial fight went down there between ANCS and FGH7, and then hopefully we'll get you guys some more up here with MILF DILF going up against PGR and Laws. Alrighty, guys and gals, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Anything else you'd like to see around these areas, any other ideas for types of content, feel free. And as always, I do hope you enjoy the PvP war gameplay as we try to show you as much diversified PvP content from as many different KVK groups, depending on the season that they're in. That's going to be it. As always, until next time, I will catch you later.